My name is Vicki, and I'm a lifetime resident of Spruce Pine, North Carolina. And I experienced the storm of Helene. Spent 15 days without power. But other than that, though, there was no loss of lives in my family. I was very blessed. And then he gave us, provided us with people to help clean up. People come from all over the United States and brought stuff into my church, and we distributed it accordingly, and we are truly blessed through the whole thing. And I appreciate everything that everybody done for us. And my son was vacationing in Utah, and he had no way of getting a hold of us to make sure we were all right. But when he finally did, he said, "Would you go check on my house?" And I literally had to crawl in and out of trees to get to his house. But he was also blessed. It only caught one corner out of the 40-some trees that fell that caught the corner of his house. So we helped him get that cleaned up, and he is just about back to normal now after a year and a half.
Well, thank you.
Please like and subscribe.
For me, I think the thing that I always think about that I really take pride in being a young parent at 16 and seeing the way my children turn out today. I have a 53-year-old son and a almost 48-year-old daughter. My daughter is a cancer survivor, 5 years, so I did the cancer walk today. But I'm very proud of my accomplishments. I have to toot my own horn, which I don't do often. I was pregnant when I was 16, had my son when I was turned 17, and it was a bumpy road. It was an absolutely bumpy road. I did everything wrong as a young parent. I mean, I didn't do everything right, I should say. But I persevered and I continued on. I didn't give up, even though, it was a challenge on so many different levels, economically, financially, socially, mentally, emotionally. I never gave up. And the fruits of my labor paid off. I was determined that I wasn't going to be a statistic. And I think one of the things that really helped me to get through all of that is by being raised by a mother and father that loved us girls dearly, and they gave us the foundation that we needed, the spiritual foundation, the values, good values, and all of that where we came from, up north, growing up in the country, that helped me to get through that very difficult journey. I went on to get a bachelor's degree in social work in 1981. And then I got a master's degree, in 2010. And I was able to retire and feel really good about, being able to retire in 2017. My children, they turned out to be really good people, very kind. I never hear people saying bad things about them. They say, "You have really nice children. We really love your son, we really love your daughter." And I take great pride in that. And I really want to encourage young single mothers, just based on my journey of being a young parent and a single parent, is never to give up on your children and to realize that everything you're doing matters. Everything you're doing, everything you're exposing them to. Excuse me. I think if I could do a couple things over, I would focus less on trying to find a partner, and surrogate, dad or whatever for my children, and that I would have just kicked that to the curb and realized that it's okay to do the journey alone, and not to focus on that and to focus just on my children, period. Because in time, when it's right, you might find that person, your partner, but not basing it on trying to find it for the children. So I think that I would encourage young parents to focus on the children, focus on themselves, grow in every way possible, and then let things happen organically in terms of that journey with maybe finding, a partner for yourself, not for your children necessarily. So I've been able to go into higher education. I retired from higher education. I worked there at different universities in Wisconsin for 27 years, and I was able to help a lot of people throughout those years. And I have a lot of young people to this very day. You know, they're very grown, many of them. They have their parents and their grandparents even at this time too. So I see the fruits of my labor through them, and that brings me a lot of joy. And you know, being able to try to make my parents proud and my family proud because of the fortitude of never giving up and facing every challenge, with determination and not looking at it like it's over and hopeless and defeat. I never looked at it that way. I looked at all of those challenges as an opportunity to grow and to share. And that's what I've done, and that's what I'll keep doing until I can't do it anymore.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was a very interesting story, and I appreciate you sharing.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Well, my name is Leah, and I'm actually the middle of 8 children, and we grew up on a farm not far from here in Wisconsin, and I have a lot of really great memories about our childhood because we spent a lot of time outside, and but it was also sometimes really hard, right? Yeah, we didn't, it's really rough sometimes making a living on a farm, and I remember that there was a lot of times that we had a lot of wants. But I think what was even harder, because when you're on the farm, we had our own meat, and my mom did a lot of gardening and things like that. But when we moved away to somewhere else and my dad took a different kind of job, it was a really hard time for our family because he was unemployed for a while, and I know my mom had to work to do for the first time in our life, and that was rough. And I just remember that nothing ever seemed like it was going right, and it was a time in our life where we felt really out of place. We didn't have anywhere to go to play or any opportunities to do a whole lot. But I'll tell you one thing though, going through a time in life when you had like a really rich childhood to a time when you felt like you had almost nothing and it was hard to make friends and kind of reestablish yourself, made a lot out of us, because every one of us kids ended up putting our own self through college, and there's like 3 or 4 in our family who are doctors now or just professionals of some type. But what we really learned is that whether it was hard work or learning how to survive really tough times, is that we learned how to really dig deep and to decide to really have a strong work ethic. We learned that relationships and family were always really important in our faith. Definitely knowing that God, and through His love, through Jesus Christ, just held us together and provided no matter what we needed. And so although there's been a lot of rough days, there's never really been a bad day. So we're just been grateful for any difficulties we've gone through. So
It sounds good. Well, thank you very much.